Hey everyone, there is a giant storm going on outside, so I figured it would be a good time to do something I've wanted to do for a while, which is a big 1,000 subscriber room tour and collection tour. They seem to be pretty popular, and I like watching stuff like that. Thanks for 1,000 subscribers, by the way. It took much less time than I thought it would. So I'm going to try and put videos out more frequently from now on, seeing as I have more time to work on videos. So without further ado, I'm just going to start filming stuff. I don't even know where to begin. I really should have planned this more. Okay, I'm gonna try and tackle this mammoth shelf we've got here. So let me just start right from the bottom. This is my cool fin sword that I got from Forbidden Planet. Everybody should know about that. The funny irony of my channel is that I'm more of a video game guy than I am an anime guy. So now I can actually talk about video games for once. So this little N64 section here, got Yoshi's Story. It's a pretty lame game, but a really cool box art, so I'm glad I have that. Bomberman Hero is an awesome game, F-Zero X is an awesome game, pretty much every N64 game I have is awesome. And no end labels, Jesus Christ. Majora's Mask, which I got earlier this year, still haven't really been able to play. What else we got? A Japanese Mario 64 with vibration compatibility. I don't know why I bought this, but you know, you can never have too many Mario 64s. What else we got here? Mario Tennis, Yoshi's Story again, Banjo-Kazooie. Oh, Kirby. This game, I'm pretty mixed on this game. Let me tell you, this is Japanese Kirby because all the Kirby games are super cheap in Japan. But I'm pretty mixed on this game. This is probably one of my least favorite Kirby games. It's just too slow, guys. Come on now, let's be real. It's too slow. And this is probably the single rarest thing that I own, which is like an adapter that lets you play Japanese games on a UK N64. You just take the you get Japanese game. Put it in the back there, get a PAL game, and then, actually I think it's the reverse of this, but either way, you put a Japanese game on top and a PAL game in the bottom unless you play Japanese games. This is a really rare device. I'm not even sure if they have this anymore on the internet. Google it. Google Universal Games Adapter version 4. I'm pretty sure there's no more. I got the last one. So yeah, they didn't make enough for the rest of you. Sorry about that. And this freaking awesome Star Fox 64, which for some reason I can't understand, we renamed Lilac Wars, but it's still the same game. I got this on my birthday. My cousin got it for me. It's a giant, huge box with an awesome rumble pack, so we can get all that great vibration. You know, video games. Man, what's a video game without vibration, really? So this is awesome. This is huge, and it barely fits on my shelf, but it's still cool. I'm glad I have it. Wave Race 64 is a great game that everybody should play. Good old Ocarina of Time here. Our cover art isn't as good as the American one, like for the most part. It's just a logo. It doesn't look as cool. It's all yellow. I don't know why. We always get worse Zelda cover art. And the Majora's, where is it? Majora's Mask doesn't have the hologram thing, which that was the best part of the game. And then over here, all my Sega Saturn games. Sega Saturn's the best console ever made. If you disagree, you're an idiot. Daytona USA is awesome. Fighting Vipers is awesome. Fighters Megamix is awesome. Knights is awesome. If you never played Knights, this is like the first Sonic Team game that wasn't a platformer. Really fun. I love it. Panzer Dragoon, which is like the only decent rail shooter that comes even close to being as good as Star Fox. It's not as good as Star Fox, but it's really good. And the sequel's even better. And what else we got here? The perfect version of Rayman, the perfect version of a very imperfect game. Get this over the PlayStation version, it's really good. Sega Ages Collection, which is really great. I used in my Humanity's Decline video. Comes with the best version of Outrun, almost the best version of Outrun, Space Harrier and Afterburner. Funnily enough, all of my Saturn games are excellent, except the few Sonic games that I have. Sonic R is garbage. Never play this game, it's a piece of crap. Sega Rally is the best game ever. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no. That's a damn shame. I'm kidding, it's always been broken, but whatever. The game itself is fine. Street Fighter Alpha, excellent game. Street Fighter Alpha 2 is a great game. Every Capcom fighting game released during that time is always better on the Saturn. Buy the Saturn versions if you want perfect 6-player, 6-button combo madness. Virtua Cop, great game if you have a gun. If you don't have a gun, don't buy it. All the Virtua Fighter games, probably played those. Here's one that not a lot of people talk about, Virtua Fighter Kids. Maybe you've never heard of this. It's pretty fun. I like it a lot. Wipeout, which has not aged very well. It's kind of just a poor man's F-Zero. I'd steer clear of that one. And some weird game that some weird Japanese Saturn game that I've never heard of. It's a Mahjong game. I didn't realize it was Mahjong. I just saw the boobs on the back cover and I was like, wait, get. Jeez, they really don't want to appear. They're censored. Get. I know you really want to see it. There we go. Okay, I haven't found the boobs. I don't know how to. I've given up. The game sucks. And then up here, my few Sega CD games. Soul Feast, decent game, and it comes with Cobra Commander, which is like an FMV helicopter game. Pretty fun. Arcade Classic Collection, great. Just comes with 5 great Genesis games, including a Streets of Rage with like CD music. Really good. Road Avenger, probably the best FMV game ever made. Buy that. And then my very favorite game, Sonic CD. It's great. And the cool thing about this is that if you put the CD into a disc, it plays the soundtrack, and it's like the best soundtrack in video games. So, and I've also got the Japanese version. I don't know how much this goes for nowadays, but I feel like it should be really rare. Like I didn't get it cheap. I don't remember how much I got it for. It was a few years ago. But this is the best game ever made. If you disagree, you're just wrong. You know, they won't let you into heaven. You know, and it's got the best cover art too, and the best soundtrack. So it's basically a perfect work of art, and we will speak of it no more. And then there's my Super Nintendo games. These are real. Every Super Nintendo game I have is really great, but I don't have all that many. This Donkey Kong Country in amazing condition. I don't remember how much I got this for, but it was completely worth it. I've kept it in pretty good condition since. What else we got? Kirby Ghost Trap. It's nothing terribly special. It's just another Puyo Pop clone, but still, it's got Kirby and it's got great music, so it's awesome. Super Mario World, the best game ever. One of the best games ever. Super Nintendo is one of the few consoles where we got the better cover art, because we still have text all over it, but this is red, so, you know, it's better than the American one. And good old, everyone's favorite, Yoshi's Island. Amazing cover art, amazing game, perfect 10 out of 10. And I got this surprisingly cheap, considering the condition it's in. Yeah. I'll just tell you, $32.99. So, great game. Here's Secret of Mana, American version, which I got super cheap. I think it was a birthday present. I haven't been able to play it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's great. I love the soundtrack, and it looks really great. The Super Famicom version of Kirby Superstar, probably my favorite Kirby game. Probably everyone's favorite Kirby game, the best one. And there's all sorts of classics in here. We got Super Mario Kart, F-Zero. It's the best. Super Nintendo's the best console. At least it's one of the best consoles. Super Mario All-Star is probably the best game on a cartridge, even if it doesn't really count as a game. But, you know, Super Nintendo games are expensive. That's the only reason I don't have so many. They're really, really expensive. Like, they're a tenner at least for the cartridge. If you want to get, don't even think about getting them in the box. And I don't have a lot of NES games, but the few I have are really great. Boy and His Blob, if you've never played this, really cool puzzle platformer that everybody should play. Got a boxed Super Mario Brothers here, these aren't too expensive. A boxed Mario 3, which is probably my favorite game after Sonic CD. It definitely has one of the best cover arts ever. Look at this friggin' cover art, this is the coolest thing ever. And Tennis, which is complete garbage, but I'm glad I have it. Mega Man 2, which is with a much slightly more tolerable artwork, or maybe America has better artwork, I forget. Punch Out, really great game, everybody loves. Double Dragon, decent beat 'em up, doesn't really come close to being Final Fight with Streets of Rage levels of quality, but pretty fun. I remember the NES version being pretty good. Dr. Mario, which has seen better days. You know, not everything survives from the 80s. This is pretty great. This is one of the best versions of the game too. And Tennis again. And Excite Bike. And Excite Bike's really fun. Everybody should play it. It's like a medieval version of Joe Danger, except better. And then we got this section, which is super cluttered, because I put all this stuff up here so it kind of look like a set instead of just a random mishmash of games. We got this awesome Haruhi book with spring and summer illustrations. If you're a big Haruhi fan, good stuff, all really high quality. And this cool K-On! Art canvas, which I got from MCM Comic-Con, I think. Super cheap, really great. I think you can hang up on a wall, but I don't really want to. And then it's just a mess. If it isn't abundantly clear yet, I'm completely out of space. I need to, like, build another like shelf or something. Let's try and get through it. Here are my Master System games. I don't have a lot, but they're all really great. Alex Kidd and Shinobi World is one of the best games ever. One of my favorite, best Alex Kidd game, one of the best Shinobi games, best game on the Master System by far. Yet another version of Outrun. You can never have too many. Why am I throwing them over there? Teddy Bear. I think this game sucks. I vaguely remember it sucking. I only bought it because it was so cheap. Black Belt. Super fun. Are you getting bored of these cover arts yet? Some people love them. I think they get really boring. Hang On, which is pretty fun, decent motorbike game. It doesn't look anywhere near as good as it makes it look, but you know, it's pretty fun. It was worth the money. R-Type is a freaking awesome game. Great space shooter if you're into space shooters. Super cheap. Like seriously, everybody should buy this. I don't know. I think Master System games go cheaper in England because they're actually successful in the UK. But yeah, it's better than Life Force. It's better than Gradient or Gradient. R-Type is one of my favorite shooters, so everybody should play it. I kind of butchered Space Harrier, but you know, it's still playable. And original 8-bit Sonic games, because that was back in the day when people actually made ports that were original games instead of just broken, retarded versions of the real game. So this is pretty fun. I like this game a lot. And this game is entirely original. This is also really fun, really good. You can pull in a hang glider. You have to save Tails before he gets killed if you don't get all the Chaos Emeralds. Pretty fun game. This is an excellent game here. This is Land of Illusion, sequel to Castle of Illusion. Really fun, super cheap. Really, the Master System is a great console. Nobody talks about it because it didn't have like Sonic games on launch or anything. The Master System is a great console. Everybody should give it more respect. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. And here I just have trashy PS2 games, which cost nothing, that I only have because they were cheap, and I have no space for on my actual PS2 shelf. So what do we got here? Freaking, all of these games are garbage. They're all terrible. Some of them cost me like literally 50p. This whole stack of FIFA games I literally bought with change from McDonald's years ago, and I don't know why I do this to myself. I'm just obsessed with collecting stuff. I don't play these. These are just taking up space in my room and causing me stress. I don't know who in the hell bought this. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Jeez. 3 foot. Oh my god. Let me get that out of my hands right now. Alright, we're back to the good games and the good consoles. Let's go. Let's go. It's just Genesis time. This is Alex Kidd. A pretty decent game. I think this was a launch title or came out around launch and didn't help make the console big, but it's a decent platformer. Nothing terribly special. Outrun. Obviously the best game ever made, as we already know. Castle of Illusion. Legendary game. Perfect 10 out of 10. Great platformer. Everybody should play it. Then there's World of Illusion, which is the sequel. Nowhere near as good, but still decently fun. Really amazing graphics. I love the graphics. You know, nobody talks about the Illusion games anymore. They should still be a thing. And Land of Illusion is the prequel, or the game that bridges the two. So everybody should get back into the Illusion series. US Sonic the Hedgehog, which I bought for like, how much is that? $2.99. Really great condition. Play it all the time. Perfect game. Screw everyone that says otherwise. And a PAL Sonic the Hedgehog, which actually has a better cover art for the first time ever. But one thing that isn't as good about this version is the manual. Like, we did not know what we were doing with manuals. Look at these. Look at these freaking paper clips that they're using to hold this together. Let's do this properly. Okay, here is something that has always bothered me about Sega manuals, okay? Let's just go through these one by one. Okay, here's Super Mario World on Super Nintendo. Look how incredible this manual is. All these crazy illustrations. Look at this. This is excellent. It's all full color. It's all in one language, which is you know, already amazing bonus. But it's excellent. Look at all these. Look at these crazy illustrations. This is so good. This is, you know, they put effort into this. This is the only place you're gonna find these pictures. They didn't have Artbooks back then. Or maybe they did. They certainly didn't have them for video games. I'll tell you that much. We got all the different colors of Yoshi. Man, this is a perfect manual. Manuals aren't this good nowadays. I'm not even sure games have manuals now. We have digital ones, but you know, who cares about those? Now, let's compare that to Sonic. All in grey, pretty ugly, not had a lot of thought put into it, but the illustrations are still there, just, you know, not high quality or anything like that. And this is the US manual. Now let's compare this to the PAL manual. Yeah, let that sink in. They've got 8 languages per page. Jesus Christ. The whole thing is, this could rip at any moment and it wouldn't be anyone's fault but Sega of Europe. It's a disgrace. It's a shame. And what's so sad about that is that Sega had by far the better box arts. That's why it's so cheap to get these nowadays. Because they actually had clamshells, and everyone since then has been using this design, except sleeker and nicer and not like a VHS. Nintendo, you can't find boxes for Super Nintendo games for a decent price nowadays, because they were made of like frigging paper. But, you know, why couldn't they have just put all of the effort in and had something as great as what Nintendo was doing? And you know, what a dumb complaint. I don't think anybody cares but me. Anyway, back to actually looking at the games. We got Sonic 2, super cheap in fact, one of the cheapest games you can get for the console. Sonic 3, getting a bit more expensive. Sonic and Knuckles. This is kind of pricey. You're gonna be paying like upwards of 20 quid for this. I don't know how much it goes for in the US, but box art's great. And oh man, here we got a treat here. We get that frigging Ristar. This game is my jam. Oh man, and you can't find this game for a decent price nowadays. So I'm glad I've got mine. This is one of the best platformers ever made. One of the best Sega games ever made. Sonic Team's first non-hedgehog game, and look what happened. Nobody bought it, nobody played it. It's become kind of like a hit since then, and everybody talks about it nowadays, but too little too late. Ristar should have become a thing. Sonic Spinball, piece of crap, don't know why I bought it. Yeah, there's such an abundance of bad Sonic games. This controller, I don't know how to feel about it. It's just huge and bulky and not pleasant, which is why they released the amazing 6-button controller, which is great for games like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, even Streets of Rage 2, I think, uses this. So, that's great. All these awesome Street Fighter games, super cheap. Super Street Fighter 2, really great game. One of my favorite fighting games. I think that was 20 quid. Jesus Christ. But it's worth it. Everybody buy it. Then the Mortal Kombat games, you know, I don't hate them. I think everybody was just so enamored by the idea of a game where there was blood and like kind of photorealistic looking designs. But the gameplay, come on now. Watch Mojo put these above Street Fighter. Like that's blasphemous. Afterburner, really fun if you like arcadey Sega games where you shoot stuff, and who doesn't, you know? Everybody needs a bit of Sega in their life. And the 2 Golden Axe games, a decent alternative to Streets of Rage, super fun, great music, great visuals. I like them a lot. And look how cheap these games are, really. It's $4.99. It's Nintendo. What's going on? Oh, and Smash Brothers Brawl Collector's Edition. I don't know why that's down here. I'm not even sure Smash is in here, actually. Oh, okay. Alright. Never mind. It's just... And that's enough of that. Echo the Dolphin, super cool game. Well, it's not that cool. I can never play this game for more than a half hour. I get stuck. But it's just something about its atmosphere and its soundtrack. Really cool. And get the Sega CD version if you can. Because the soundtrack's really great. Altered Beast. This is pretty fun. Aladdin. It's okay. You know, I feel like everybody talks about this game for some reason, but I don't see what makes it so great. Mux is awesome. Everybody should play Mux. Mux is, man, games like this used to be cool. When a super soldier would just climb into the Middle East and start gunning people down. That used to be cool. I don't know what happened, but it stopped being cool. It still had that sense of vitality back in the 80s and 90s that is kind of lost since then. Streets of Rage 2. This is the coolest game ever made. This is... I can't even stress how perfect this game is. This is legitimately one of my favorite games. It's the best beat 'em up ever made. Don't give me none of that friggin' Final Fight bullcrap. We all know this is the best game. This is the best in the franchise. This is the best in the genre, and easily the best in the franchise. Streets of Rage went to crap. And Sonic 2 Japanese version. Oh, that reminds me. Japan had none of the issues I detailed earlier. Japan's Mega Drive manuals were incredible. Like, look at, again, the colors here, the artwork's here, everything's here. I just can't understand it. But I don't need to, because I've mastered this game. So, it's not even a problem of Sega, it's just that all English-speaking countries are trash. That's all it is. And what else we got? Super Hang-On, the sequel to Hang-On. Again, pretty good. Chicky Chicky Boys, or the Mega Twins by Capcom, a game nobody remembers, but it's really fun. You play as two twins, you're out to save a princess, you're running around through this Dragon Ball kind of land. It's pretty fun, you know? It's got that nice Capcom vibe. Everybody loves Capcom. I know I love Capcom. So people should play that. Go play it. Cyborg Justice, this game sucks, if I remember correctly. Mega Bomberman, you can never have too much Bomberman. Bomberman's the best game ever. You can ride a cool, I don't know what that thing is, a coyote? Like a jackal? Maybe it's a kangaroo? Maybe Bomberman's in Australia? I don't know. But it's really good. Super fun. X-Men, pretty boring, I think. And Batman Forever, cancel. Probably the worst game I have for the console. Stay the hell away from this game. Jesus Christ, this game's bad. The real game begins is trash. I think it's based on the movie. I don't even know if the movie was any good, but, you know, even if you're a hardcore Batman fan, stay away from this. I don't know how I got it. Like, this doesn't even look fun. It's like Mortal Kombat fighting in an action platformer. Wrap your head around that for a bit. In fact, just go watch some footage, because it's quite the spectacle, but it's complete trash. It gave my hands cancer long ago. Stay away from it. And there's the big bad boss itself, Shinobi 3. Man, this is the coolest game ever made. This is the best Shinobi game by far, one of the best games on the console, one of Sega's best games, the best, the best in action platforming and fun. You know, this game, Shinobi's better than Castlevania. Send that to all the Castlevania fans, you know. It's true. It's the coolest game ever, and you know, that's the Macho Man stuff right there. Look at that. Oh, by the way, this game won't be $9.99 when you try and find it. God knows how much it will be now. I don't even know if you can find this game anymore. It is unbelievably expensive. I grabbed it when I could. You know, they simply did not make enough for all of you. And that's them's the breaks. That's how things are in this industry. You know, you grab something, you see something in the wild, you grab it. When it's as good as Shinobi 3. Don't even think about what the price is. I was lucky that I got it from someone who's stupid, who doesn't know how valuable this game is, and how good this game is, because it's really, it's impossibly good. It's so good. It's consistently good the whole way through. Soundtrack's amazing, visuals are amazing, controller's perfect. Best Shinobi game ever. They made a few more, but you know, like most things in life, it dipped once 3D became a thing. So, may he rest in peace. Miss Pac-Man. This game's it's Pac-Man. You know what Pac-Man is. What else we got here? Cool Spot. This game is terrible, I think. I remember it being really bad. You're literally playing as the Spot in the 7-Up. This is what they were getting away with in the 90s. You were playing as the red Spot in the 7-Up logo. Wrap your head around that. What even is this? What the hell? This is a rental game. I'm pretty sure it should have been given back before I was even born, so they're probably pissed. Oh man. Jesus Christ, I remember this. This is the sequel to McKids, and it's trash. But what they could get away with in the 90s is just unbelievable. But it's okay, because when the games were good, they were damn good. Like Road Rash here. Road Rash is awesome, and this is probably my favorite Road Rash game. Just, you drive around in a motorbike. That's what was cool about the 90s. Video games weren't that well established, so you could pretty much do whatever you wanted and no one would question you, because all the genres were just being made. So, this is a great game. Everybody should play it. And Super Fantasy Zone, if you're a fan of the original Fantasy Zone, I am. I love Fantasy Zone. This is what we call a cute 'em up here in the business, where we fly around in a cute thing, killing cute creatures. They don't even seem like much of a harm, but you know, why not? I don't even think this game was released in North America. It was just Japan and Europe for some reason, but it's really good. And it's super cheap, so buy it. And this, if I remember correctly, is one of the first-person shooters ever made for the Genesis. A first-person shooter for the Genesis. You know, say that a few times. It's complete garbage. I have zero tolerance for this game, and that's why I wrote it on the cartridge. And just like the PS2, I have a stack of trash, which I didn't buy. I think I got these in a job lot or something. If you think FIFA's bad now, you should have seen it back then. But there's a few good ones up here. You got Space Harrier 2, which is nowhere near as good as the original Space Harrier, but is decent fun. And Super Monaco GP, kind of fun, nowhere near as good as Sega racing games get. And Virtual Racing, which was a huge deal when it first came out, because I think it was like the first 3D game or something like that. Like, everybody thinks it's Super Mario 64, but it was actually Retro Racing. And everybody loved this game because of the spectacle of racing around in this polygonal world of 3D, but the actual game itself, not one of Sega's best racing games. And they've made some racing games, let me tell you. The cool stuff continues. This is me a few years ago, I think back in 2014 or so. McDonald's was doing a sponsorship with Nintendo and doing all these cool Mario toys. So me and my cousins, we were obsessively buying Happy Meals so we could round them all up. And I think I got all of them. I don't know if Luigi and Princess Peach were even available, but whatever. I got the ones that matter. And Donkey Kong, oh, it's broke. Look really closely. It's supposed to be a banana. Can you see the banana? Okay, it still kind of works. I doubt it has a lot of good years left in it. Anyway, I have my GameCube games in 2 different sets because I've got too many and not enough space for any of them. So what we got here? Star Fox Adventures. Terrible, horrendous game. I don't even know what the hell they were thinking. Wave Race. Blue Storm. Kind of fun. Nowhere near as good as the original Wave Race, but you know, decent. Mario Party 4. I don't care for Mario Parties. I don't think this is even mine. Power Tennis. Best game ever. Everybody should play Power Tennis. You probably have already. It's really good. Everybody should. I was so looking forward to that Ultra Smash and Wii U, and it was just complete trash. It's a disgrace. But this game will live on forever to make everybody happy. I think I have Mario Tennis on N64 as well. Around here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. This is really good too. Everybody should play it. I don't know why I skipped it over last. And of course, Mario Kart Double Dash, which is my favorite Mario Kart by far. One of my favorite games, probably my favorite game for the Gamecube. Definitely my favorite game for the Gamecube. I love this game so much. I think it's utterly perfect and the best in the series. Nothing will ever reach this level of quality. And they need to make a sequel, because the whole Double Dash gimmick is perfect. And the levels are perfect, the soundtrack's perfect. It's great. I think I got these for my birthday. I don't know how to play them. I have literally no idea how to play these kind of games. I don't know how to play regular card games, let alone these weird German ones. So, the artwork's nice. That's all that really matters. I think I also got this from McDonald's. Huh. Shin-Chan. Everybody loves Shin-Chan. I think I got a few more Shin-Chan toys as well. Here we go. Does anyone remember Shin-Chan? He was a really cool guy. I used to really love this show as a kid. Anyway, I usually have like 3 times as many PS3 games and Blu-rays, but my brother took the PS3 to uni, so he took most of the games with him and most of the Blu-rays, and I just bought my own one, so I can just rebuild the things I don't have and get back the stuff that I need. So let's just go through what I have. Look at this freaking piece of crap. Look at this worthless, disgusting. Look at this. Oh man, the rage. I paid maybe 30 quid for this when it first came out. No games, nowhere in sight, except this worthless piece of crap. I'd sell it, but I can't. It's not worth anything. And this, all the things I've lost over the years, and somehow this has stuck around for like 5 years. Get out of here. Worthless piece of crap. Okay. I'd never buy this. I don't know where the hell it came from. I hate Platinums overall. Like, you'll notice I don't buy a lot of Platinum games. Not the developer Platinum games, but Platinum games. So PS3 had the ugliest Platinums I've ever seen. What? This is just garish. Like, not only have they diminished the picture, and I doubt it has the disc. Yeah, but it barely has the disc. It's ugly as hell. But they've just put this horrible yellow around it. It's like that one girl in Myriad Colors with that awful sweater. It's jarring. It's disgusting. I don't want it in my life. Burnout Paradise, this was one of my favorite games back when I used to play it. I completed the whole thing. I literally got everything you could possibly get. I completed all of the online challenges. I 100%ed it. I got an S-Class Elite license. I was so proud of myself. I still have the save, but I haven't revisited this game in a while. What else? I have freaking Judgment. oh god. He notice how he left all the crap. Mass Effect 2, everybody likes this game. MotorStorm, this is, I don't know, kind of a tech demo. People, it's amazing how much the PlayStation got away with back then. This is not a standout racing game at all, but you know, it just had those cool ragdoll physics and everybody flocked to it. One Nation Racers, Little Big Planet with racing, but nowhere near as good as Little Big Planet or even Mario Kart. Ratchet & Clank, pretty great. Not as good as Ratchet & Clank 3 or Crack in Time. This is one of my favorite games ever. This is one of my favorite games on the PS3 for sure. And the only game here that I actually care about. So I don't even remember what Rage is. SingStar, whatever. Blu-ray time. Let's talk about Blu-rays. Frozen, which I bought as soon as it came out because I really liked it. I'm pretty sure we're all glad that Frozen's kind of died down a bit. But let's not forget that it was pretty good. I really liked Frozen. Ponyo, probably the most beautiful Ghibli movie ever. Anyone that disagrees, lying. Mononoke comes close. Okay, and Wind Rises also come close, but Ponyo is perfect and beautiful. Everybody should buy it. Life, don't even know who the hell bought this. Dumbo, this is one of my favorite movies. It's probably my favorite like Disney animated feature. Nobody gets this film like I get this film. It's so special to me. Tom and Jerry, one of my favorite shows on Blu-ray. I'm glad this finally became a thing. You know, I probably legitimately enjoy Tom and Jerry more than any other anime I've ever watched. Like, I don't think there's an anime that I like as much as Tom and Jerry. So let that sink in. Okay. Whatever, you know. Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I'm a huge South Park fan. One of my favorite shows, probably my very favorite show. And this movie is one of my favorite movies. So, what else we got? Get that down there. The DBZs. These were like special Blu-rays that would like clean up the original negatives. And they stopped making them. Even though I was paying good money for them, they were like 40 quid for 17 episodes. And then they just stopped making them because they were too expensive. So, I think they just started releasing the series on Blu-ray regularly, just with HD masters instead of cleaning up the original negatives. And it comes to like 40 episodes for half the price. So these are just kind of laughing in my face, because I wasted my money. Toy Story 3, one of my favorite movies. Squeeze, let me just leave it there. Muppet Movie, probably my very favorite movie. This is one of the best movies ever made. One of my favorite. This is... I keep giving the same analysis of everything I pick up, but it's that good. It's really my favorite. Great Caper. Nowhere near as good, but you know, still a decent Jim Henson Muppet movie. 2 Seasons of Adventure Time, which are really great covers, even though they're easy to break because these get dog-eared no matter how much care I take care of them. So, Adventure Time's great. I haven't watched it in some time, but I'm sure it's still great. And My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, this is a super rare and valuable German Blu-ray, and I'm not terribly sure I can really recommend this because it's like all of the packaging is in German. It has option for English language obviously, but the German audio track is in like 5.1 and the English is in like 2.0 stereo, so it's nowhere near as nice sounding, and there's no special features or anything like that. So I'm not terribly sure I could recommend this unless you're like a hardcore die-hard fan like I am, but you know, it's your call. Don't know why the hell I bought this. I freaking hate this movie. I just bought this on the off chance that maybe the distributor would output the series on Blu-ray, but that didn't happen, so I own this for no reason. And Sentai, finally we're getting into anime, the whole goal of the channel. Man, look at this cover art. You look at this cover art and you just know that you're in for a treat. You're in for a good time. The funny thing about Sentai Filmworks Blu-rays is they actually don't work on UK PS3s or UK Blu-ray players at all. You put them in and it comes up with this little error on the screen. So what you need to do, like a special trick to watch them, you have to like skip to a specific chapter, and then you can get into the goods on the Blu-ray, and then you can only navigate it with the pop-up menu. So when I first bought this and popped it in, I thought I was screwed, and that the show just wouldn't work, and I wasted my money. But thankfully, I found a way. Disappearance of Haruhi. Oh my god, this thing I'm holding in my hands right here, easily the rarest thing I own. Go find this. Go try and find this now. This is the Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya Australian version. Go find an Australian. Just Google, look around the internet, scour the internet, and see if you can find this thing that I'm holding in my hands right now. Because this took me about 3 years to find, and I'm pretty sure there's no more. There's no more in the world. Okay, these are out of print and they'll never be back. This doesn't exist anymore. Try and find it, I dare you. If you find one on the internet that's available for sale, link it in the comments, because I want to be proven wrong, because I don't want to believe that this simply isn't findable on Blu-ray. They planned on doing a UK release, but then they cancelled it like faggots, so this is the best I could do. If you want to get the film with the dub and all the special features, you have to get the Australian version. And even the American version is out of print now, so it's a damn shame. If you're a fan of this, this movie, too bad. K-On! This is the Australian version of K-On, which is much easier to find. Sentai Filmworks eventually output this on Blu-ray, I think, recently, with like better subs, but it doesn't come with the special features, so it's your call. The special features aren't anything special anyway. I haven't spoken much about K-On on this channel. I've been pretty tight-lipped about it, so I plan on talking about it pretty soon, so stay tuned. What else we got? Both 2 collections of the second season. I was really hoping they'd eventually just give us like a complete set of all 27 episodes, but that isn't likely. K-On's one of those intellectual properties that they monitor like crazy, so that they're always making money off of it. K-On's one of the shows where if you try and upload footage of it, it's the one that will probably get taken down. K-On the movie, I got this super cheap. This is the only Blu-ray of K-On that's actually been released in my country, so I got this for like a tenner. And it came with an awesome passport, an Oyster card holder, K-On themed. It's somewhere around here, I don't know. Madoka, this was a great purchase. This was one of my best anime purchases ever. £20, 12 episodes of Madoka. Perfect quality, special features I believe. And then we've got the Ava rebuilds. Remember Jesse's video where he explained that the best thing about the rebuilds is how cool the cover art is? Well, yeah, look what we did to it. None of the characters were on it, we don't even really get a good shot of Ava 01. And this one's even worse, it's not even well printed, and it's so light and flimsy and cheaply made, and the worst part is 3.0 actually has the cool cover art with the logo and it's all blue, so it's just gonna stick out like a sore thumb. Man, what the hell? Then we've got Log Horizon, which I got at HMV, I think. I'm yet to actually rewatch this show, so this is just sitting on my shelf like a fine wine for the day I feel like coming back to it, because I've got quite a Blu-ray backlog. I'm still in the middle of rewatching Gurren Lagann, which is one of my very favorite anime. I have most of my favorite anime on Blu-ray, I find. Like, I make a goal of doing that. If I give a show above a certain score, that means I plan on buying it. So this is amazing, considering how, look at that. They got 27 episodes on a Blu-ray and released in the UK. That's like unheard of. That's very unheard of. Does it come with any special features? It does. It comes with special features. Jesus Christ. I got this on like on sale. So wow, that's probably my best anime purchase to date. Panty and stocking, amazing cover art, amazing quality, great, perfect, and it comes with tons of special features. So another highly recommended purchase. High School of the Dead. I only owned this because it was on Amazon as the cheapest anime Blu-ray available. I hadn't even watched it before I bought it. I just like, okay, it's a $5, and it seems to be pretty popular, I'll buy it. And I don't even really regret it, because I've watched it twice since I bought it, and I had fun. £5. You can't really not regret a purchase of a 12-episode series that was a $5. Cowboy Bebop on Blu-ray. I hate this cover art, but the Blu-ray itself is excellent. Comes with all sorts of great special features. It comes with like Shinichiro Watanabe and Yoko Kanno mocking the show's occasionally awkward animation, which is really funny. Michiko Tohachin on Blu-ray from Funimation. Thankfully this is region free. This is another one of my very favorite anime. Special features galore, all 22 episodes, amazing purchase. Everybody buy it. Kids on the Slope, another A-grade anime that I love. I don't remember how much that was, but, you know, it's worth it. It also comes with Yoko Kanno performing. And here's the treasure trove of my collection. My Space Dandy, signed by the man himself. I'm not sure if you can even really tell, but that is Shinichiro Watanabe's signature. I met the man, the myth, the legend, and he signed what I consider his best show. This is another one of my very, very favorite anime. So, that's a very special day for me. Rick and Morty, Season 1. One of my favorite shows, again, really good. Special features, HD, commentary, you know the drill. And The Land Before Time. Excellent, perfect, beautiful masterpiece from the heavens. My favorite movie, or at least one of my favorite movies, definitely my favorite animated movie. And, oh man, I'm so glad this exists. I'd visit the Land Before Time Wikipedia page once every few months, since maybe 2007, waiting for a Blu-ray release, and eventually it just said, yeah, it's coming out on Blu-ray. It didn't come with any of like the special features that most people really want from this film, but whatever, you know, I'm glad this happened. I'm glad this is even a thing. So, everybody buy that if you want more cool Blu-rays. What else we got? Goodfellas, which I think is one of my favorite movies. It was the last time I watched it. FLCL, which I'm yet to rewatch. This cover art is garbage, by the way, let me just say. That's what I feel when I look at this. The American cover art is super sleek and cool looking, and then just look at this. This is trash. I completely hate it. Django Unchained, great movie. Planet of the Apes, also great movie. Up, one of my favorite movies. An alternate Space Dandy case, which is super cool. And Gone with the Wind, another classic movie. I'm not sure if it really benefits from the Blu-ray release, but you know, I'm not complaining. One last little glob of Blu-rays here. Oh wait, I missed one. Shirobako, my most recent anime Blu-ray. Rewatched the whole thing in like a day. This is definitely one of my favorite anime, for sure. Everybody should buy this. Anyway, An Idiot Abroad. Love it. Really, really into it. Been a big fan. Long time. Hell and Sunshine. Probably one of my favorite movies. This Is It. My first Blu-ray ever. Really love it. Boys in the Hood. Another PS3 game that I guess I missed. This is a great collection. Everybody, I own most of these games on Genesis though, so I don't really play it very much. But if you don't want to hunt down all the games, like if you're sane, buy this. Like they're kind of awkwardly emulated, but whatever. The Lion King. How many versions of The Lion King do I have? Because I bought the VHS, well my mom bought the VHS back in the 90s, and I bought the DVD back in 2003, so now I own 3 generations of The Lion King, and I'm very proud to say that. And A Clockwork Orange, which has been sitting on my shelf, but I've never watched it. Okay, it's the next day, and I'm back. I ain't giving up on this, I ain't finishing, goddammit. Alright, this final goal of Blu-rays. Bambi, love it. Matrix, American Beauty, a bunch of movies. Jesus Christ, you can imagine how stressful it is to have to sift through this stuff every day. And here's a bunch of cool merch. I got these stickers that I'm yet to stick up. An Alex Kidd mug, a bunch of My Little Pony playing cards, which I have nothing to do with and they're just hanging around my room. This Yui that I think I got from MCM Comic Con or something like that for like a tenner because the umbrella was broken. I don't mind, it still looks cool. Good old Donkey Kong, this awesome this Sonic cup that I got from Urban Outfitters of all places when I was visiting America. Imagine that. I go to Urban Outfitters and this is what I walk out with. Good old Yoshi, a Mario juice, Super Mario juice, which I drank maybe 2 years ago. I don't know why this has been hanging around. And a warp pipe with a coin. So, you know, we keep it classy here. Anyway, now we're on to the big bad boss itself, the PS2. Man, everybody knows the PS2s. PS2 is definitely one of my very favorite consoles, up there with the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. The PS2 wins by quantity, obviously. Like, it's not about having the very best games, but the games, it just has so many. It just has so goddamn many. I'm not even going to bother counting them all. I'll just point out the ones I really love. Oh, what we got here, we got my main man, Paraphernalia. Play this game all the time. all these great Capcom games, including yet another version of Street Fighter 2. You could never have too many. All of the Ratchet and Clanks. Oh man, jeez. I seriously despise Platinum games. Either way, it just sticks out like that. It's either way, it just ruins the flow of all the other games. I legitimately want to throw this away and buy it again, but I don't know how much these go for, and I feel like they're not cheap. Good old the Jak and Daxter games, which I kind of play every now and then, maybe once a year. I haven't played them in a while because I bought the Jak and Daxter HD collection, but you know, it's still good to have. I don't have Jak 3 for some reason, even though it's the best. What else we got here? 13, a game that a lot of people like before first-person shooters blew up. So it still has that sort of individuality to it and a really cool art style, like sort of Jet Set Radio style art style. Dragon Quest, the very best Dragon Quest by far, Dragon Quest 8. Is there even any competition? Would anyone even disagree with that? I don't know. The SSX games, the best of which is SSX 3, super fun game. Sonic Heroes, this, wowie zowie, this was, wow, this is, I think, the game that got me into Sonic back in 2003. Man, this is such a nostalgic game for me, but it sucks ass. It's so bad, it's so bad. This was the first truly awful Sonic game, but I'm still so glad I have it, and this cover art used to get me so excited, just seeing it on store shelves, and seeing it in my hands. It's just so colourful and nice. It looks like something that legitimately rolled out of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Like, the cover art alone will give you diabetes. What else we got here? 2 amazing collections. These are some of the few games I've actually kept from my youth. These are 2 excellent collections of classic Sonic games. This has all of the Genesis games, and this has Sonic CD. So I played the hell out of this as a kid, and those are the games that got me into Sega, and got me into 90s Sega games, so I'm really glad I have that. Sega Classics Collection, this game has all of the old classic Sega arcade games and Genesis games, but redone with horrific 3D polygons. And some of them hold up in terms of gameplay, most of them don't. Outrun, of course, is still playable, but Golden Axe and Space Harrier and stuff, oh man, didn't work out. This is an iToy game, of course it didn't age well. I don't even know, I only bought this because it has all my favorite Sega characters on the cover, so whatever. Prince Persia, awesome, wait what? Why not to be sold separately? I think this was supposed to be part of like a 3-part collection, but somehow I got it anyway. 4 Buzz games, anybody remember Buzz? My family loved Buzz back in the day, everybody was playing it constantly. Devil May Cry, ooh, oh god, here we go here. Oh man. This right here, this is one of the few 3D sequels ever that beats the original. Outrun 2, Outrun 2006, this is like my favorite racing game, like by far. Wow, this game is utterly perfect. It's a beautiful masterpiece from the heavens, and everyone should buy it. Like, it's not talked about. It's probably my favorite game on the console. So damn good. Every time I play it, it's just the best. Oh man, look at this. I don't think anything in life makes me happier than a boxed and complete game. And look at that memory card too. 128 megabytes. Only on the PS2 can you pull stuff like that off. Man, I don't even want to keep filming. I want to go play this. Man, do yourself a favor. Pick that up on eBay. It's unbelievably cheap. You got no reason not to. Ico. Everybody loves Ico. This cover art, I swear to god, this is one of the best cover arts in video games. Tekken Tag Tournament, probably... This was the first fighting game I owned, I think. Back when I wasn't even old enough to play it, not even close to. But I played it anyway, and I made it out okay. Virtua Fighter 4. This is the last Virtua Fighter I bought. I don't know if they... Oh yeah, I had Virtua Fighter 5 on PS3, but... You know, Virtua Fighter's never been my favorite. What else we got? The Rayman games, back when they weren't great. Rayman M, I played the hell out of that as a kid, but kind of sucks. Rayman 3 was pretty good. Not as good as Rayman 2. Nowhere near as good as the ones on PS3. Wipeout, people love Wipeout. I think I should like Wipeout more than I do, but this one's better than the PS1 ones at least. Both the Metal Gear Solid games, neither of which I enjoy more than the original, but you know, good to have around. And both the Gran Turismo games. This, I swear to God, this platinum, look at that. Look at how it just turns it into a second game. It's so ugly. And the worst part is Gran Turismo games always have a cool cover art, and it's just ruined by the platinum. Never buy platinum games. Always find a way not to. I think I got these in a job lot. Then it's just incidentals up here. The freaking Family Guy video game, The Simpsons Hit and Run. So yeah, the PS2 is one of my favorite consoles by far. It doesn't have like all of my favorite games on it, but the quantity kills it. Like this just has such a variety. Probably the very best library in video games. Even though a lot of these games are better in the Xbox and Gamecube, it doesn't matter. You know, PS2 wins. And up here we got this cool thing, which I believe lights up. Man, how these things just die? Oh wait. There we go. You never get sick of that. My cool zapper for the Master System. If you like shooting at your TV screen, I know people are kind of over that nowadays, but I like it. And now, let's just start over from the left, because we've got a lot to work through here. Good old Sackboy. Used to be a big Little Big Planet nut. Now I'm not so much, but he's still cool. Okay, more GameCube games. Metroid Prime. Who doesn't love Metroid Prime? Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader. Really good game, really gorgeous game, unbelievably good looking. I think it was a launch title. It's so gorgeous and it's so amazing. Super Mario Sunshine, of course, excellent Mario game. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, it's freaking fantastic. Probably the worst of the main series, just because it's so flawed in comparison to the rest, but whatever. It's the stuff this game does well, it does unbelievably well. So, excellent game. Super Monkey Ball, one of my favorite games for the GameCube. One of my favorite games ever. I never get sick of playing this game. It's amazing. What we got? Monkey Ball 2, also amazing. Super excellent. And The Wind Waker, one of my favorite 3D Zelda games. And also, The Wind Waker's cool because it comes with a GameCube port of Ocarina of Time. Look at that. It plays in 480p as well. So, if you ever want to play Ocarina of Time on the GameCube controller for whatever reason, and Master Quest, then this is the way to go. So, geez, this was an excellent purchase. I don't remember how much this cost me, but I can't really recommend this enough, even though the HD version's out. Anyway, Wii games, what we got? What we working with? We got a bit of Mario Kart Wii, Metroid Prime 3, Knight's Journey into Dreams, this game that nobody ever thought would get a sequel, finally just suddenly did. Very strange. Sonic Colors, the first good Sonic game in a very long time. Tons of fun. It's not like incredible, it's not one of the best on the console or anything, but it's still super refreshing to see a great Sonic game. Super Mario Galaxy, probably the best game that came out that generation, or one of them at least. And Galaxy 2, the two best games in the system bar none. Two perfect masterpieces from the heavens. There we go, the real smash. After that imposter, cloudy with a chance of disappointment. This is the real deal. I'm not one of those guys that believes that Melee was the highlight of the series. I've loved every Smash that came out more than the last. So, Brawl is still excellent. Twilight Princess, never cared much for this game. Skyward Sword, also never cared much for this game. I don't care much for the Zelda Wii games. I don't know why. I haven't given Skyward Sword really a fair shake, but I certainly don't like Twilight Princess. And Wii Sports and Wii Music. What else we got here? We got Trauma Center, Link's Crossbow Training, and Resident Evil 4. Ooh, apparently this is the very best version of Resident Evil 4. Because I know the PS2 version, everyone thinks it sucks, and the GameCube version was considered the best for a while, but this might be the best. I think it runs the best, and it has the best control, honestly. Which is a huge surprise, because Wii usually destroys games' controls, but wow, that's a fun turn of events. And who doesn't love Resident Evil 4? I know I love Resident Evil 4. Best in the series. I haven't played the rest, so. Anyway, Dreamcast games. The Dreamcast, man, I love the Dreamcast so much. The Dreamcast is probably my favorite Sega console after the Genesis. So we got Crazy Taxi, Original Soul Calibur, Sega Rally 2, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Pretty alright 3D Sonic. Not really, I don't really care for either of those games all that much, but I definitely like Sonic Adventure 1 more than Adventure 2. Jet Set Radio, tons of fun. Dead or Alive 2, the first good Dead or Alive game. Choo Choo Rocket, great Sonic Team game. Both the Virtual Tennis games, I think, were made by Sega AM3. Pretty fun. Metropolis Street Racer, not all that great. Tee-Off, I don't remember being all that good. What we got here? Marvel vs. Capcom, obviously huge classic, everybody loves. Tomb Raider 4, The Last Revelation, which everyone seems to forget was even on the Dreamcast. After Tomb Raider 3, it's supposed to be buying them on the Dreamcast, okay? Including Chronicles, I don't have Chronicles. Code Veronica, which I also had on PS2, but I think is better on the Dreamcast. Toy Commander, which is really fun. It's basically Toy Story, but you get to control everything. Sega Bass Fishing, pretty fun. I don't have the fishing rod, so it's not as cool to play as it could be, but, you know, still pretty fun. Sega GT, which is Sega's answer to Gran Turismo, pretty decent. Not as good as Gran Turismo. House of the Dead, obviously a classic. House of the Dead 2 anyway, the Saturn House of the Dead isn't anything special. 3D Echo. if you ever really loved the original Echo and want to see what it plays like in 3D, it's decent. Nothing terribly special. And Hydro Thunder, which is a super fun racing game with jet skis. Except they're super fast, unlike in Wave Race 64. Really fun. Apparently this was sold at Game Station, but not in my lifetime for sure. So, I'd recommend it. And of course, we can't forget possibly the very best game for the Dreamcast, the mighty Shenmue. Oh man, when Yu Suzuki walked out on stage at E3, it was like a dream last year. The idea of this getting a third game was unthinkable for like a decade or so. And then it just happened. Miracles happen. And that's why I still go to E3 every year. Well, that's why I still watch it excitedly, with the hope that Parappa 3 and all the best new games will come out. Shenmue gives me that hope. And the beautiful man, the myth, the legend, Yu Suzuki, behind Space Harrier and Outrun and Afterburner and all those great Sega arcade games. And this game, he's rekindled my love and my anticipation for E3. And E3 is coming up in a few days, so fingers crossed. Oh, and Virtua Fighter 3, because you can never have too many Virtua Fighters. You know, this might be easier if I just step up. Okay, PS1 games. Let's see what we got. I got a pretty great PS1 collection. This is garbage. I don't remember where the hell I got it from. A Worms with no case. Let's just go through the good stuff. Ape Escape, obviously a classic, hasn't aged terribly well. Rayman, the inferior version by the Saturn version. Rayman 2, also the inferior version by the Dreamcast version. Street Fighter Collection, which I believe has Alpha 2, Super Street Fighter 2, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Kind of fun, but really fun by the Saturn version if you want the ultimate version of those games. Street Fighter X, a 3D, the first 3D Street Fighter game, Tekken style. It's pretty fun. The control's better than you'd think it will be. Spyro, never been able to get into this game. Bought it on the hopes that I'd be able to feel like a sort of vicarious nostalgia, seeing as tons of people love Spyro, but not my favorite 3D platformer ever. Parappa the Rapper, one of my favorite games for the console, maybe my very favorite game for the console, one of my favorite games of all time. I love Parappa more than I can describe, if I haven't made that clear yet. I love Parappa so much. I play this game constantly, always pulling it down from the shelf. I've mastered it, I can beat the game with my eyes closed. I love it. Funny story about my copy with this game. I got it on eBay back when the game was pretty expensive. Like, this went for 30 quid if you want to get it with the poster and in decent condition. So I went on eBay and I bid like a tenner for it. Like a really stupid bid that obviously wouldn't win. But then a guy obviously outbid me. He bid like 40 because it's in amazing condition. So he bid a price that's actually reasonable, and then so I lost the auction and I didn't care because I didn't plan on winning. But then the next day, the seller on eBay contacted me and said, yeah, the guy that said he'd buy it pussed out. Do you still want it for your original price? So then I got this game, this amazing good condition game, super cheap, and it was a very proud day. And that's why this specific copy, very important to me. I'll take great care of it. Klonoa, my second. Another one of the most perfect games in the console, one of my favorite platformers for the system. This game is so damn good. Klonoa 2 is also good. All the Klonoa games are good. But you know, he's 2D, so nobody bought it. And Namco stopped making it. So, yeah. you can't. I'm not sure this is even. You can even get this for a decent price nowadays. I know this UK one I've got here, really expensive. There's not much of a chance of you getting your hands in this, but if you ever see it in the wild, pick it up. The Gran Turismo games, decent fun. They've aged decently well. I'm just not a huge Gran Turismo fan. I like arcadey racing games where you can just kick off right where you start. Final Fantasy VII, obviously an amazing game. I just haven't had the chance to sit down with it, even though I've had it for like a year now. And Final Fantasy VIII, which my brother got for me, which has been sitting here. I've been waiting to beat Final Fantasy VII and I haven't had the time, because right when I got Final Fantasy VII I started this channel, which has been eating up all my free time. So I know I'll get to those eventually. Maybe I'll have something to say about them. Then the Tomb Raider games, which are all excellent, super fun. I used to hate them because I used to find them so hard to control, but with time, you know, I understood that was the point, and a big part of the challenge is working with the control and making it work to your advantage. So Tomb Raider is really great. Then the most nostalgic thing in the world for me, Crash Bandicoot. Man, these are the best games ever. These are excellent. All of the Crash Bandicoot games are great. Even the original, which is probably my least favorite, is still really great. And look at that disc art, man. The manual's thick and chunky. Naughty Dog felt very, they felt very humble back then, even as the sequels came out. Crash 2, I found recently, is my favorite in the series, because I've just played the hell out of Crash 3 for all of my life. This is probably the game I've played the most in my life, Crash 3, or at least for the longest period of time. I've been playing this since the 90s, before I even had a PlayStation. Been playing it at my cousin's house for years, so there was never a point where I wasn't playing Crash 3. So I'm kind of sick of it. Not that it's bad. I know it's amazing. It's just I don't feel the need to play it again until I'm well into my 20s, so I can have a brand new opinion on it. Crash 2, on the other hand, completely fresh, still difficult, still don't know all of the secrets, and also, let me show you. Okay, friends, be prepared to be impressed. Okay, are you ready for this? Alright, I had a bet to see if I could complete all of the Crash Bandicoot games, and ask any Crash Bandicoot player you know how difficult it is to 100% Crash Bandicoot. It is the hardest thing in the world. It is one of the hardest things in video games, even if you're the greatest of platformers, even if you think you've mastered the game. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. I got every single freaking gem in this game and every key, and you can't cheat on that, friends. Let me tell you. And Crash 2 also 100%ed. What's Crash 3? Where even is Crash 3? 105%. I can't show you, but you have to take my word for it. I have mastered these games. Crash Team Racing, though, I make no promises. Anyway, the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, even in the UK, these don't go for cheap. You'll be paying at least like 15 quid for each of them, especially if you don't want them with platinums, and I really didn't. So if you're a big Crash fan, you might already have these. You might not give them away from the 90s, but they're all available digitally, but you know, who needs that in their life? Come on now. How long's a digital copy gonna last? Everybody's Golf, which are kind of garbage on the PS1, because they're all like in this awful like FMV, where it just looks awful. The games that did not age well whatsoever. Croc! You may remember this if you had a PS1 when you were a kid. This was a cool story behind this game. They were planning on making a Yoshi game, but for the N64, but Nintendo showed them the door. They're like, okay, we'll redesign our green friend and we'll put it on the PS1. And it's pretty great. It's pretty decent. It's nothing like amazingly special, but the control's kind of okay. The soundtrack's incredible. The soundtrack's by far the best part of the game. Graphics are pretty good. Stage design's decent. You know, it holds up, kind of. It's not like anywhere near best platformer level of quality. And Time Crisis. Time Crisis is pretty fun. Now, I played more of this game in the arcades than I have on home console because I don't have one of the guns. But Time Crisis is pretty great. Metal Gear, one of the best games for the console for sure. Oh no. Oh right, yeah. I've had the box for Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone for years and years, since before any of this other stuff was here. I've had it since I was a small little baby, but I've never had the game, so I've never played it before. Isn't that something? Both Tekken 3 and Tekken 2, both of which are excellent. Tekken 1 doesn't hold up. Thankfully I don't have it, so it doesn't matter. I do plan on buying it, but these are two of the best fighting games on the console for sure. I'm not sure if I like Tekken 3 more than Fighters Megamix on the Saturn, but don't know. It's still one of the best in the series. And then my favorite racing games by far for the console. Got the original Ridge Racer, which is pretty similar to Daytona on the Saturn, but not quite as good. Pretty fun game. Ridge Racer Revolution, massive improvement, really fun game. Ridge Racer Type 4. This is one hell of a game. This is the best racing game on the console bar none. The soundtrack's incredible, the control's great, it's got split screen. This is a grade A game. Everybody buy Ridge Racer Type 4. I'm pretty sure it's cheap all over the world. Oh, and I almost forgot, the 2 driving games. Pretty decent. Not the best driving games on the console. I don't even know if they kept this series going. They might have, and I just didn't buy the rest of them. But they're pretty okay. Jesus Christ, just look at these boxes. If you had a PS1 as a kid, you went through these. I don't know what they were thinking. I think maybe because it had CDs, they thought they were being cool by offering them in cases that were kind of like CDRs or Redbook audio CDs, but this was a bad idea. We have them thicker over here than they do in America, but I like it like that because I can see the names of the games from my bed. So the same with the Dreamcast, thicker and blue, and I really like it. I like the way it looks. So that's one of the few cases where we got the better end of the deal, in my opinion. And then finally, we just got a bunch of merch up here. NES box, N64 box. I remember I got the N64 for super cheap with that box and the console, a controller, and Perfect Dark and Rogue Squadron in box. So that was an amazing deal. Now that I think back on it, I don't know how I got away with that. This Rainbow Dash plush, it became a running gag in my family to buy me these pony plushes when I didn't ask for them. I think I got this from my cousin on my birthday, and I got Pinkie Pie on Christmas. And then we got Mio over here, we got Fiona in a Pac-Man cup, we got a broken Kenny, but when it existed it was really good. Back there you got boxed Mario toys that have been there since like 2011. Another Toad, because he kept being the one that we got on the Happy Meals, a Funko Applejack, this awesome Tanuki Mario plush, which I got from Belgium, I think, and this hat, which I gave it from McDonald's, a Metal Sonic, Sackboy keychain, which I always wanted to put on like a PSP or something, a weird blue Rainbow Dash, Goombas, Guile, everybody loves Guile, a Pop Twilight Sparkle, Rainbow Dash again, Tsumugi, wearing her outfit from Season 2, Episode 14, I think, Fluttershy, and yeah, and these more cards, which I bought and never played with. And I just keep all these boxes up here. I don't know why, in case I ever move and I need it, I want to make it easy for myself. And that's pretty much it. I think I'm finally done with this epic shelf. Jesus Christ, I made a mess of my bed. Good lord. Bunch of DVDs that I've had since I was a kid. They got Peanuts, South Park first season, really great. 2 seasons of The Muppets, a bunch of Michael Jackson music videos, The Simpsons, a Pixar DVD set, which is kind of outdated. Family Guy, back from when I loved Family Guy as a kid because I was retarded, and cool DS games. Please. What else we got? What do we got here? Got Dragon Quest. Everybody loves Dragon Quest. Yoshi's Island DS, which probably my least favorite Yoshi's Island game, but whatever. It's a million times better than Yoshi's Story, so. Then a bunch of 3DS games, like the Ocarina of Time 3D, which I think this physical version went out of print or something, so these are kind of hard to find nowadays. A Link Between Worlds, which I got on my birthday but have yet to touch. Let me know if you think this game is good, because with Zelda games you never quite know, they all just get amazing reviews. Shovel Knight, best game ever. Really, really, really good. Like, people talk the hell about that game, but I don't think they talk about it enough. Yoshi's New Island. Why does everybody crap on this game? Everybody hates it. It's just another Yoshi's Island. Like, it's not amazing, but you know, Yoshi's Island is still Yoshi's Island. Kirby Triple Deluxe, really great game. One of my favorite newer Kirby games. Bunch of I share my 3DS games with my cousin, so I haven't even touched a lot of these. And Tekken Prime. Tekken 3D Prime Edition. Who the hell needs Tekken on a 3DS, really? Who else agrees that fighting games should just stay off of handheld consoles? Unless it's something like Smash that only uses a few buttons. And over here we got Sonic Advance 2. I kind of like the Sonic Advance series. Decent, you know. A lot of the games are just kind of running in a straight line. Like, the level design is nowhere near as interesting as the classics, and that kind of makes the game massively less enjoyable. But, you know, running can be fun too. My 3DS, really love it. I'm so fond of the 3DS. It had such a rough start, but then things just worked out. And then this DS for playing Game Boy Advance games, and it works like a dream. And it's done me kindness for years. It's cheap. It was cheap because it was pink. And up here I've got my K-On! Fan, since it's summer. And why wouldn't I have this? And the last survivor from my PSP collection of old Patapon. Like, I've held onto this game since 2007. I've been waiting for to get another PSP because it's in amazing condition. Like, even what the hell? Oh no! What's going on? Oh, okay. I guess I don't have Patapon. It's super cheap, so I don't really mind. But man. Nah, that's just killed my motivation even more to get a new PSP and build my collection back up again. The PSP doesn't get talked about enough. It's really good. It's a really, really good console. Tons of fun games. And over there, just a bunch of VHSs of old. Back when I was a kid, the end labels were useless because we stacked them on the shelf like that, so I had to memorize them by their color. And it worked. These have been with me for my entire life. These are the movies that shaped me into who I am, and I know all of them just by their cover. This is The Muppet Movie and Great Caper. And these are little batteries for Dreamcast VMU. This is Zippity Doodah, I think. Apparently this was too controversial to release, but somehow I have a copy with a bunch of musical numbers on it. This was Power Rangers, I believe. Don't remember why the hell I have that. Bugs Life, Rugrats, a bunch of Land Before Time movies. I know I need to get rid of these, because think of how much more portable games I could keep if I just got rid of these. These are useless. I don't even use a VHS anymore. But I can't get rid of them. Not in good conscience. And if you thought we were done there, you are completely wrong, because now we're doing the poster tour. Gonna look for every poster in the room. So we got this sexy Azusa wall scroll, which I don't even frequently have up there because it covers Sonic. So this is a great poster. This just reminds me all the reasons why Sonic's such a cool guy. Look at him. Look how much fun everybody's having. This is a great poster. And over here, just all sorts of console libraries from the 90s. That come with video games. This came with one of the Genesis games, I don't remember which. Super Nintendo, Gamecube, another Gamecube, and another Gamecube. So those are great. Here would usually be a giant Michael Jackson poster, which is over there now. But I took it down because it's old, it's getting ripped, and I don't really care about it anymore. My awesome Konatan Haruhi wallpaper. Don't remember where I got it, but I really love it. Used it in the Haruhi video. And a surprising poster. Sword Art Online. But you never expected to see that. There's a cool story behind this that I can justify this being in my life. I went to Comic-Con, like I described, where I met Shinichiro Watanabe, and I spent all my money, and then I got Subway, and I was left with £2, I believe. And I was like, oh, if I don't spend this here, I'm never going to spend it anywhere. It's just going to get wasted on like a sandwich or something. And there are a bunch of posters, all of which for shows I hadn't heard of, and then just this really high quality poster of Asuna. And I'd seen maybe 5 episodes at the time. I was like, I don't even know the rest of these other shows, so it wouldn't hurt to have Asuna in my room. I really like Asuna. And this is a nice poster, so this hasn't pissed me off at all. I haven't felt the need to get rid of this. I'm sure I will when I get another poster that I really like, but it's in good quality. So, you know, I guess it's sticking around for now. Then my Parappa poster, which comes with the original game, if you were lucky enough to get it boxed and complete, which is amazing. Something about it, it looks so jerky, and like, look at Parappa's little stubby hands, but I don't know, it's just so charming. I love it. I really love it. Then we got an NES poster over here, just advertising all these NES games. Came with something on NES, I don't remember. This great Adventure Time poster that I love, had for a long time. Another Genesis poster, which advertises all these cool accessories for it, like the Game Gear and the Menacer, and all these later games. And this Super Mario Bros. 3 poster, actually for Super Mario Advance 4, for the Game Boy Advance. And it rounds out the place nicely. I feel like I could fit more on here. Like, I could probably put the stickers that I got here, but I'm really happy with this poster. I love it. Mario 3 is a great game. And now I can do the console run. This right here is a 20-inch or so CRT TV, maybe a bit bigger than 20-inch. This is the perfect TV for the type of thing I was going for. If you're looking for a perfect TV for retro games, this is as good as it'll get. The perfect size, got all the right connections, and below it are all the consoles. So here we got the Super Nintendo with Donkey Kong Country, and the Mega Drive 2, well, I've been calling it Genesis this whole time just because I prefer the name Genesis, with the Sega CD attached to it, the Mega CD. NES, which is in surprisingly great condition. If you want to keep these in good condition, you have to clean them. N64 with Star Fox 64, and this cool red controller with a rumble pack. A PS1, all these are connected to this TV by the way, and a Sega Master System with Alex Kidd in Shinobi World. And this cool steering wheel for the Sega Saturn, which I use for games like Sega Rally, Hang On GP, Outrun, Daytona, tons of games. It's really great. I talked about it in my Humanities Decline review again. And then, for everything that's beyond that generation, I've got this nice TV over here for PS2 and Gamecube. Like, I have another PS2 and a Wii downstairs, so everything Dreamcast and beyond is downstairs. But if I have spare consoles, then I can play them in here. And, really cool story behind this PS2. I was at the dump a few years ago with my mom, throwing things in the dump, and I just saw this PS2 in the electronics bin, because that's the world we're living in. If you have an old PS2 and you're not bothered to put it on eBay, you throw it in the dump. So I just fished it out. It came with a controller, a memory card, and Guitar Hero. So this guy was a true idiot. I didn't even need cables, I had tons of spares at home. So this is a PS2 from the dump. I got this from the bin, free of charge. And that was like 2 years ago, and it's doing me service, it's doing me kindness, it still works great. And then this Gamecube, which I got from, get that off that. This Gamecube, which I got from the US, from my cousin, who didn't want it. He gave me this Gamecube and a bunch of games, just discs in a little clamshell. So this is great. I love having this here. Got it plopped up right at the video. And then my Yeti, which is the latest addition to this little section of my room. Really pretty great mic. There's nothing cool in these drawers. I think there's just dumb stuff. PC controller, back when I was into emulators, and a bunch of PC games. A bunch of cables. None of these look useful, but believe me, I know what all of them do. I take one glimpse of them and I know what they're all for. Here's some component cables. Oh, and a HD PVR for when I feel the need to record stuff, which I occasionally do. And down here, just got a bunch of freaking awesome merch. This Enchiridion, a Haruhi Artbook, Pony magazines, manga, Sonic. There's tons of stuff in here, and there's all my old PlayStation magazines from back when I used to read those obsessively, before I knew the internet was a thing. And all of my consoles are connected with a RGB SCART cable, which, if you don't know what this is, most people don't know anything about video game connections, and they just assume every console will look crap if you try and play it today, but let me try and explain this to all of you plebeians as best I can. Okay, with retro video games, there are essentially about 4 ways you can connect them up, for the most part. You got this first option, which is an RF output with a coaxial cable. Complete trash. You'd have no reason to use this today in 2016. This is just, you know, this was the dial-up stuff from back when radio TVs were a thing. So let's get that out there. Then we have the much more familiar RCA jacks, which transmit a composite signal over the three little cables here. We've got the yellow one, which separates the video from the left and right audio, so it gives you stereo as well. Overall, much cleaner picture, still not very good. Nothing to write home about. Then we got these S-video cables, which are a huge improvement by all these little pins they got in there to separate the color and the brightness from the luminance and what have you. So this is the standard most people expect from an old console. Then if you're really a boss, you get these SCART cables which transmit an RGB signal. All these different teeth, they separate the brightness, the color, the luminance, the contrast, everything. So it looks really, really amazing. Let me try and show you on the TV how amazing it looks. Okay, I'm not even sure how effective filming a screen is, but let's see. Isn't that the best? Isn't that something? Try and get that. That looks decent. Anyway, I think you get the point. I don't need to keep doing this. Also, I've modified every single console for 60 and 50 hertz. If you didn't understand what that means, you don't need to. Oh, another thing to note is that I've modified all of the cartridge slots so that American Super Nintendo games can fit, as well as Japanese Mega Drive games. Isn't that something? And if I ever really want to record a retro game off of the console, I can use this cool little device I got and just plug that into there, and then a HDMI cable into the HD PVR, and then I'm golden, which I don't do often, but I do occasionally. And then for consoles that are PS2 and upwards, you should be using these component cables, which will let you play in 480p, and are super cheap for the most part. Unless you're buying them for the Gamecube, then they'll cost you literally your entire life.
Oh my goodness!
And there's one more drawer of miscellaneous stuff, just nostalgia. Man, I don't know what year this was the official annual for, but it must have been like 2005 or before, because Rugrats certainly wasn't a thing after that. And then we got, man, as much as I love modern cartoons, I have to admit this really drills in the nostalgia, gotta say. A bunch of Thomas the Tank Engine books, big fan of that when I was a kid for some odd reason that I completely can't understand. And then a bunch of controllers, because you can never have too many controllers. And I think I'm pretty much done. That's my room. And the weather's certainly cleaned up. Anyway, that's my room tour. I don't know how long that ended up being, but that sure was something. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'll stay the course. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Jesus Christ, I made a mess.
And once you've followed all this advice about passion and perseverance, it's time to seek help. But what I'm saying is, find a mentor, someone who is the perfect mix of fan and critic. You can learn to borrow from them, and you can observe not just how they do what they do, but what they're thinking while they do it. I think that's very important to find out this sort of thing, to learn about their unique interior process and how they go about it. Now, sometimes a mentor is someone who we meet at work, or we might work with that person, and sometimes that person is someone we can't actually work with, but we know by their work, but they can still inspire and guide you. And mentors can help us in another great way. They can help us to be aware of what's come before. Now, to be creative, you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes you can start with somebody else's wheel and put your own spin on it. Being a part of any creative discipline means knowing what the rules are, even if you have every intention of breaking those rules. There's one other thing that I think every frog or person needs to be creative, and that is friends. For me, I think the very best part of creativity is collaborating with friends and colleagues. None of us really achieves anything absolutely alone. Maybe we're here to encourage each other to share our dreams and to become the best version of ourselves we can possibly be.